everyone, it's Tay of Shantae Plans, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to another episode in my How to Decorate Your Bullet Journal with Stickers series. This is a series that was requested that I share step by step how I decorate my bullet journal, and I've truly been enjoying working on these videos. I made a change recently to the way that I want to format my movies and TV tracker page. And previously, even up into and including January of this year, I had just been using this page as a way to make a list of the movies and TV shows that I've been watching. I decided that I wanted to add in some statistics to this page, which it will mean including more columns and tables and things for me to write on, because I'm going to be documenting more information on this page, which I'm really excited about doing this tutorial. One, because at the time that I'm filming this, I have not yet done my February setup in my bullet journal yet, which will be the first time that I have functionally included this new format in my actual bullet journal. This here is just my tutorial bullet journal. Really quickly, these are some of the stickers that I have pulled out that I will be using. As I have learned from previous tutorials, I don't always know at the very beginning of the video what all I will be using, but I did pull out some options for myself, including these washi samplers from Paper Trail Plans, this beautiful floor kit from Panda Bird Design, which I mostly have just the journaling deco add-on. It's what I'm primarily going to be using for this, as well as a beautiful fashion doll from TaylorMade Creative Planning. Some alcohol ink swatches that I think are in the right color palette to pair with this, also from Paper Trail Plans. So, and then I also pulled out a couple of highlighters, and I've gotten questions on my highlighters that I use. I keep my highlighters in this acrylic drawer set that sits right in front of me on my desk. In the top shelf, I have some mild liners. This shelf are Mr. Pen highlighters. I have the pastel and the Morandi collection. I feel like the Morandi collection has the color palette that I reach for the most. They're very, very neutral colors and really pretty. Also love the pastel color palette. I might have another color palette in here as well. I picked up a few different options for Mr. Pen, but I know the pastel and Morandi are the ones I reach for the most. Same thing here. This is also Mr. Pen. This is just their sleek, the Mr. Pen sleek collection. That's why it looks a little bit different than the square ones. I personally don't have a preference between the two of them. I think they both work the same and they're both fantastic. I was asked recently if I had an Amazon storefront. I share things like where I get my highlighters and stuff like that. I will get to work on that. Because my immediate response when I saw that question, I was just like, oh, no, I don't. I not only do I not have an Amazon storefront, I don't even know how to get one. If you have ever wondered what the difference is between an influencer and someone who just happens to make content that they put on YouTube, I am the latter. I was like, what? I don't have an Amazon storefront. Oh man, but I realized how helpful that can be for someone who's watching my videos and going, well, I see the highlighters that you're using. It would be convenient if you had a link in your description box and I could just go get it. So I will get to work on that. There are definitely some things that I realize I have to learn more and add more things out. This is my 2025 bullet journal that I use for myself personally. This notebook is also from Archer and Olive, and this is a practice tutorial notebook. I did go ahead and do a mock-up for myself as I was trying to figure all of this out. And so this is what we are going to be working on. So in reworking my movies and TV page, what I decided is I still want to have the list of the movies of what I watched. I made myself a little notes list here of what I've watched. A category for my favorites. So I'm going to start adding in some of those statistics. My favorite show of the month, the favorite movie, actor, actress. And then I also want to add in what is new that I watched and what is a rewatch. And so what I will likely do in my watched column, I want to try to maybe add in some columns at the end and just make one section a marking for new and a section for rewatch. I may do it that way, or I'm still trying to figure some things out. And then I have a section at the bottom for genre, in which I write down different theme categories. I actually used my stats from December, just wanted to get myself an idea of what that might look like if I started writing out the different genres and started tracking them. I recently got a bunch of Zig Clean Color Dot highlighters. These are fantastic because they go down, and when you mark them on the page, you get these fun little dots. I love these, and so I'm very excited to use these for the genre section of this. So these I got from Sadie Stickers, and I do have a link to her shop as well as a discount code to her shop in the description box. So this one is easy because I got those from Sadie Stickers. So there is a link in my description box for those if you are interested in picking up any of those dot highlighters. This is what we're going to be working on today. And so in keeping with what we've been doing in this series, we still have our same elements here that we're working with, right? We've gone over how to break down a page and remove the intimidation of starting with a blank page to getting to something that's very decorated. And what I love about this is that we're working with several different tables for the first time. And so it's going to give us an opportunity to decorate around multiple tables, which means that even if you're not using this for movies and TV, but you're using it for something else, and you have a page where you do have multiple tables on the page, hopefully this video will be very helpful for that. But we still have bottom washi, tables, title, primary image, some supporting deco. So we're going to be breaking down the page in the exact same way. We'll begin using our pencil and eraser because we want to start off by drawing out our different tables so that we get an idea of the amount of space those are going to need to take up, and then everything else will work around it. I've used my pencil to outline the areas where my tables are going to go, and now I can take my highlighters and draw in my lines. To draw in the grid lines for this table at the bottom, I'm going to use one of my Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners. I have lots of these in black because it's one of my favorite pens. I use this all the time. But I'm actually going to do this with this gray one because I think it's going to be softer, and I think it'll look really nice with the really soft colors in this kit. I've created my 3 tables on this page. If you've been watching this series for a while, you probably know what comes next. I'm going to trim them with some stickers. I will be using these doily taco washi trim stickers from Panda Bird Designs, some of my absolute favorite trim stickers, and they're so dainty and beautiful, and I think they're going to pair perfectly with this kit. This is one of those steps that I absolutely consider completely optional. You do not have to do this. It's something that I really enjoy doing with my spreads because I just think it looks pretty. But I always like to point out, especially because this would mean, if you don't have a washi trim sticker in your collection already, an additional expense to get something like this to include on your page. So don't feel like that is something you have to do unless it's just something that you want to do. So I enjoy the look of this very much. Okay, I've lifted those stickers up. I want to try this again and try to actually cut this at an angle because it's going to make those corners come together and look a lot better. This is going to be a little bit more work for me, just trying to get that angle right and get those stickers to pair up. But I think the end result is going to be worth the extra effort I'm about to put in here. And then when I place these two together at the corner, that should sit next to each other a lot nicer and make that look better in the corner. Yay! Oh yeah, that was definitely worth the effort it took. I am using the grid dots on the page to help me do this. what I'm doing is I've got the sticker placed down here. I'm going to line up the edge of this blade of my scissors with these 2 dots here, because that forms that diagonal corner that I want. So I'm just going to set my scissors down open right on those 2 dots in that corner, then just place the sticker there and then just close the scissors. And that way I know I'm getting the angle that I want. And that's going to make that easier for me to do. We've completed step 1 of creating the tables. Now let's move on to adding our bottom washi. One of the things that I think is really important to keep in mind when you're decorating your pages is balance and not overwhelming the page visually. There is a lot going on because I decided to add in this very decorative border to these tables, which is one of the reasons why for this one I decided to go with the more simple one that came with the kit that still has some really pretty foil on it, so it catches the light beautifully. But I also have these awesome washi sampler strips from Paper Trail Plans, and the sugar plum color pairs really well with this kit. So I'm just pulling off one of the thin strips, and I just want to run this across the bottom. It's not going to add a thick base or anything like that, which is exactly what we want because this has already got such a bold thing going on here. This is just going to give us a nice detail going across the bottom. I can take some florals across this. I could add a little bit of floral detail to this if I wanted to. If I had something very, very subtle, I wouldn't want to pair anything like this on top of this. It would just be far too much. And even my first thought when I was originally sitting down thinking about this spread was that I might want to use this floral strip. But again, because we have so much happening with this very, very bold trim, to put the florals right underneath that would be so visually overwhelming. And so you want to keep in mind when you're placing down decorative elements, if you already have something that's very bold and eye-catching, let it be the star. Let it be the thing that grabs people's eye, and the things around it, make sure you include some white space around it, and make sure you include some subtle things around it, so that way it doesn't overwhelm the page and it gives it balance. The foil print design that Panda Bird Design has on this purple strip that I used to trim this, I do have that design. It's her Dainty Dot Washi. So I'm going to take one of those as well and trim this right above this line that I just put down. This is going to, again, really, really subtle. It's not going to clash with this thicker trim because this is so clean and simple. And so we're just giving just some solid straight lines down here that are pretty and complement what we already have happening on the page. So this one ended up being a very simple bottom washi, and I love it so much because there's already so much else happening on the page. We don't need a very busy bottom washi as well. We have our tables and bottom washi. Let's add a title both to the page and to each of the tables that we created so that we know what we're tracking in each section. So I have some stickers that I'm going to use. I definitely want to stress that you can absolutely just write this. I don't do lettering really well. There are some people who do fantastic lettering in their bullet journaling, or if you just want to use just regular handwriting, it doesn't have to be fancy calligraphy or hand lettering or anything like that. I use stickers because my hand lettering is not good enough for me to be happy with it. And so I have the title stickers that I get from Paper Trail Plans for each of the pages in my bullet journal. I have very common setup and pages that I do each month. So I have stickers for each of the titles that I need, and I get those from Paper Trail Plans. They also sell individual letter stickers, both in this large size. These are their small, and then this is the tiny size. And so I pulled out the small and the tiny. Wasn't quite sure what size I would need to label these tables, so I'm going to figure that out now, but I'll be using this to title the page. And I absolutely want to layer that over some of these beautiful alcohol ink swatches because these are on transparent matte paper. And when I place it down on the page, it's going to add subtle color to the background of the page. And so instead of putting this down just on white paper, it's going to give me a little bit of color underneath there. And I like the way that that looks. So I took this cute little box from the layering page and I added that here and added a little bit of deco right next to it. I originally thought I was going to make a column for what was new and what was a rewatch, but I decided I didn't really like that. It would be easy just at the end of the month, just count them and just write the number of how many shows were new that I watched or movies were new that I watched and how many were a rewatch. And I can just write it in this little box here. Then I have my stats for my favorite show, favorite movie, favorite actor and actress for the month. Now that we have all of our titles down, we can go ahead and start decorating around them and adding in some of the really pretty deco that's on this sheet, and just start adding in a little bit of decoration around the words that we've placed down to make them look a bit more interesting. We've added some deco around the titles on the page. It's all coming together and starting to look really beautiful. Again, going back to our list of things that we like to include to create our page, we have our tables, bottom washi, title. What we have not yet added is a focal point image, the like primary main image that's usually on the page, or a quote. And I think it's so important to realize if you have a page that has this much going on with the tables, you may not need to add those things because you don't want to overwhelm the page, and every single page is not going to fit everything, right? So just taking a quick flip back to what we did in our very first tutorial in this series, we had the bottom washi, the main image, the quote, our table, which on this page was a calendar, and we had our title at the top. And so we had room to fit and then supporting deco around it. And we had room to fit everything because we were only using one table. And even here where we have two tables, there still was a lot more room on the page left over for us to add in a large primary image. We do have some space here, so we can see if we can pull in an focal point and a quote, but both of those would have to be scaled down a lot smaller than what we did in our very first one because we don't want to overwhelm the page. I do want to stress that you can absolutely stop at this point. It is functional, it's decorative, it's pretty, it is everything you need it to be, and you can go ahead and use the page from here. But I think I can add a little bit something more to this space here, so let's see what we can do. Okay, so we were able to make that fit, and now we've got a really pretty quote and focal image with the doily and the large butterfly. We have our title at the top, our primary image, a quote, tables, bottom washi. This page is complete. We can stop here. But again, I'm not quite ready to stop here. If you did want to add a little bit more, this is where, for me personally, I start thinking, oh, let me reach for something that has some foil. I know I've got some stickers with some foiled butterflies, and that'll add some sparkle to the page. And also even these little dot cluster stickers, those will be so fun to add a little bit more sparkle to this page, and I think it'll look really pretty. I also have this sheet from Sadie Stickers. This is her butterfly sampler, which has some really pretty butterflies on here. And then this foil deco sheet from Paper Trail Plans. This was an add-on to her flowers kit, and this has foils. This has butterflies on it and some sparklies. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but let's add in a little bit of butterfly foil detail, and that will finish up this spread. I am loving this so much. These are absolutely my favorite types of colors to use in a spread. So everything about this just feels just incredibly beautiful to me. Also, I'm a huge fan of butterflies. This, like, oh, this is my dream spread. Everything about this is just so pretty. I really love the way that this page came together. I think it is so beautiful and such a fun and easy way to decorate a page that has multiple tables or multiple things that you're tracking on the page. This would also be fantastic for a page that's like your habit tracker page, where with habit trackers you tend to have multiple little habits that you're tracking throughout the month, whether it's your workouts, your skincare, or any sort of like regimens or things like that. We tend to have multiple different things on one page, and so this is a great approach and strategy to decorating pages that have multiple tables on them. For the next video, we're going to continue using this same decorative kit and continue over. I'm going to do the playlist page, and so I'll be using my lace scallop punch for that page and decorating it very similar, because I'm not reformatting my playlist page at this time as far as I know. We'll see what happens when I actually get to the next video, but we'll be continuing that and using more of the decorations from this same kit. And that is the awesome thing with these sticker kits. You can use them across multiple pages throughout your spreads. In case you were wondering how I use the genre section, so using, and it's still, I haven't completed the month, so I haven't completed my list yet, but using what I have on here so far, essentially I'm just going to take one of my Zig clean color dot highlighters and just mark off when it falls into that category, right? So I would just go down the list of what's actually listed on this page, but for this example, I'll just use what's here. I watched Avengers movies. I would put that in action. I watched 2 Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame, because that is how I wanted to ring in my new year, obviously. Crazy Rich Asians, which is romance, Shang-Chi, and I mean, that's another Marvel movie, so it's action, King of the Hills, comedy, Suits, drama, Transformers 1, it's kind of a kid's movie and kind of action. It's definitely a kid's movie. Oh, I don't know. It's something my husband really loves, which is why we watch a lot of Transformers in our household. The Magnificent Seven, that was a drama, it's a Western drama. The Last Dance, that's a documentary about the Chicago Bulls on Netflix, and the Zootopia kids movie. I love that movie. And so for each of the movies I watch, I'll just fill in those dots going across the month. Movies and TV shows that I watch. I really love the addition of this because it lets me use my new dot highlighters. It just makes me so happy. And then I love the addition of bringing in these additional stats onto this page, because I feel like it makes it more functional and it'll be a lot more interesting for me and something that I'm going to enjoy doing each month. I hope that you enjoyed watching me decorate this page, and I hope that this was really helpful. As always, the goal of this series is to help remove any level of intimidation that you might feel in looking at a blank page and feeling like you might not know what to do with it. The goal is to make it feel like this is so easy to create, because even though I'm looking at this all put together, I can look at it and see all of the different parts of the page, and I know exactly where to put my stickers and how I want to decorate. So I hope that you all enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that this was helpful. If it was, please give the video a thumbs up, as that helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And I look forward to coming back for the next video, and I hope you will as well. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye.